Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I'm using Altenew products to make the background part of the focal point. So let's get started. I'm starting off with my main focal point and I'm using the Craft Your Life project kit Magnificent Magnolias. I'm using the die set in the kit for the flowers, and then I'm also using the stamp set in the kit for my sentiment as well. So I have a die cut two of the flowers from the die set from Classic Crest 110 Solar White cardstock. I have placed the petals onto my sticky mat, and now I can add some ink blending on top using Bubblegum Dreams Fresh Dye Ink Collection and a small blending brush. There are some other parts to the petals. There are some little pieces that kind of depict if the petal was kind of overlapping on itself, if that makes sense. I'm not using those today, I decided to leave them off, but I did just want to mention that they are part of the set. So I'm starting off with my lightest shade of ink blending, which is baby pink, and I'm focusing this colour towards the centre of these petal pieces. I want the tips of the petals to remain the white of the cardstock. Because my background is also going to be pink and the exact same shade of pink, I do want to just make sure that they're not going to kind of blend into the background. So like I said, I'm trying to focus that darker colour towards the centre. So I am dabbing off the excess ink from my brush onto the sticky mat, and then I'm bringing the brush to where I want the darkest area to be, which is that centre point. I can then use small kind of circular motions to bring the ink to the tips of the petals. Like I say, I'm kind of trying to leave the tips white, so I'm not going as far all the way to the tips of the petals, but as the brush has less ink onto it, it automatically is going to lighten up anyway. So now I can go in with the mid-tone shade, which is fuchsia, and again I'm going to bring that brush to where I want the darkest area to be first. Again, I am dabbing off the excess ink. That just helps me to get a smooth blend. On one of these petals I don't end up doing that, and you'll be able to see why I try and do that, because I did get a little bit of a harsh line. So like I say, just focusing that darker colour in the centre of these petals. And this is where I got that harsh line. So I am going to go back and try and just blend that out as best as possible. I know that I'm going to have to add my darker colour a little bit further up that petal than I wanted to, but it is just going to cover up that kind of harsh line of where that ink blending is. So now I can go in with my darkest shade, which is magenta. And again, like I say, just focusing that darker colour into the centre of these petals. And I really love how they look with the nice dark pink in the centre and then fading out to the white on the tips. So I can just finish off with that last one there. For the flower centres, I'm using the Golden Sunset Fresh Dye Ink Collection. And one of these flower centres is supposed to be a different colour. In the packaging it does show it as green. I just decided to do them all yellow because that's just what pleased me. So I just want to mention that they're kind of going to blend into each other. They're not really supposed to, but that's how I'm doing it today. So I went in with the first layer of Sunray, and now I'm just adding a little bit of chamomile to one edge of this flower centre, just to help add a little bit of dimension onto it. I've set those aside to dry for a couple of minutes. You do want to try and make sure that the ink is dry, because if you're adhering like wet ink onto wet ink of the cardstock, they're not going to stick very well. So I'm starting off with the second piece, and I'm going to lay that down onto the first piece. On the back of the packaging it does tell you which layers are which, but for some of these, when you die cut them, they do indent the number into them as well, which is really helpful, so you can see how they're supposed to be layered up. I'm just adding the liquid glue around where that keyhole is, and that keyhole is going to help me line up all of these pieces perfectly. I try my best to line up that kind of triangle as best as possible. And I'll be honest with you, I am kind of at arm's length here, so I don't line them all up perfectly. But I have found that with these types of flowers, it doesn't really matter if it's just off slightly. So I've added all those petal layers and now I can go in with the flower centres. So I'm going to start off with the one here that's got that keyhole in. And then for the second layer, it's just going to line up with the shape of that one underneath. And then for the next piece, it's going to line up with one side of the piece that's already there. So I'm just going to figure out where that's supposed to be. I just needed to turn that slightly so I can get it in the right place. And then I can pop this last piece on top. And then I can do the exact same thing for the other flower. This time I've got the arrow as the keyhole. So again, just trying to line up that keyhole as best as possible with all of these layers. So again, I did the petals first, and now I can go in with those flower centre pieces. So I can now figure out where I want them to be placed onto my card. So I'm trying to sort of just nestle them together, and I know that I want my focal point to be towards the left hand side of this card. So I have placed my panel down onto some scrap paper, and now I'm going to add some ink blending for my background. So I'm taking a large blending brush and the baby pink ink. I am dabbing off again some of the excess ink onto my scrap paper here. And then I can bring the brush onto that background. Now it is going to be in the bottom left, or the kind of side of the left really, mainly because it does go up quite high on that card. But on how you're looking at it now, it's on the right hand side. It's just a little bit easier for me when I want one side of something to be darker, that I go in with that side first. So for me, with ink blending, I use my right hand to do my ink blending, and so it's easier for me to come in from the right hand side than it is for me to come in from the left hand side. So I flipped my cardstock upside down, and now I can add that ink just a little bit easier for me personally, because I do want what will be the left hand side, like I'm kind of rotating it here so I can see how I'm going. I do want that left side to be darker, and then I want the ink to fade out to the white of the cardstock as it gets further towards the right hand side. So I'm just looking here, bringing in the flowers to see if I'm happy with how it looks. I do want quite a little bit more ink blending here to kind of go around the right hand side of those flowers. I do just want to make sure that you can see that. I don't want it to stop before I get to the flowers. So now I can go in with fuchsia, and again dabbing off the excess ink. These brushes are really lovely at getting a really nice smooth blend, but I do just want to dab off that excess. I don't want to get that harsh line like I did on that flower petal. And as you can see, I am getting a little bit of a line here where it will be on the edge of the card. You can definitely just cut that off. That just tends to happen because obviously I'm going in from that side. I decided not to cut that off today, but when I place my panel onto my card, I am just going to have to cut it slightly just to fit my card base. So some of that does get cut off a little bit. So again, just rotating that so I can see how it's looking with those flowers, and I just wanted a little bit more of that ink. So just going back in with that blending brush, and then I'm a lot happier now how it's looking. So I can now bring in the Paper Echoes background stencil. This is a really lovely stencil. It's just got some lovely words on it in a nice scripty font. I thought that it wouldn't overtake the flowers and it would just look quite nice in the background. So I've lined up that stencil with the panel, and I didn't want the top line or the bottom line of the text to show on my card. So I'm just masking those off with a little bit of tape, just in case I get ink blending where I don't want it to be. It's easier for me just to mask it off from the start. So just placing that down there at the top, and then I can add a little bit there to the left hand side as well, just to make sure that that stencil is going to hold down nicely. So I can now bring in the Fuchsia Fresh Dye ink, and I've switched to a small blending brush. You can definitely do this with a large blending brush, but I felt like I had a little bit more control of where the ink was going to go with the smaller brush. So again, I'm going to focus that darker colour towards where the darker colour is already on this panel, so that's on the left hand side. Obviously here I've switched it round because I felt like it would just be a little bit easier for me to focus that darker colour to the top, and then as I come down with that brush to lighten it up slightly. Again, it's just a little bit easier for me to turn the paper that way. So again, as the ink kind of leaves that brush, it's going to give a really nice light blend around where those edges are on the right hand side and the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to have that darker colour there on the left hand side. And as I'm peeling this off, I just wanted a look to see if I was happy with it, if I needed some extra ink before I lifted that off completely. And I was pretty happy with it, but I had a little bit text a little bit high up on this panel than I wanted it to be, and although I didn't want to get rid of it, I did want to lighten it slightly. So I'm just bringing in an eraser and I'm just going over where that text is, and it is just going to lighten it up slightly, and I'm much happier with it now. So I can add some glue tape onto the back of the panel, and then I can adhere it down onto an A2 size white card base. So that's a finished size of 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. And my panel is a little bit bigger than my card base, so I'm just going to line it up with the top fold, and then I can adhere that down, and then I can take it to my guillotine and just cut the two sides down. And that's also going to help a little bit to make the card a little bit smaller, and you'll see why a little bit later. I wanted there to be something in between the background and my flowers, but I still wanted to be able to see the background through it. So I'm taking one of the tags from the Best Wishes tags die set, and I'm cutting that from translucent vellum paper. So you're still going to be able to see the background through it. It's not going to make a huge impact on the card, but it is going to help ground the flowers that I add on top. I do want to cut that whole reinforcer piece, but if I just cut it from vellum and then adhere it down onto the tag with liquid glue, you're going to be able to see the adhesive through it. So I've added some double-sided adhesive sheet onto the back of that vellum, and now I can add that whole reinforcer die on top. I'm going to hold it down with some low tack tape, and then I can run it through my die cutting machine. And the idea is that it will completely cover that vellum with the adhesive, and really you're not going to be able to see the adhesive because it's completely covering that vellum. The only reason really that you see adhesive through vellum is because some areas have the adhesive and some don't. So the areas that don't have the adhesive, you can quite clearly see the areas that have the adhesive, if that makes sense. So if you cover it completely, then you don't actually notice that adhesive. So that's a really great way to be able to adhere vellum on top of vellum, but it's also a great way to be able to adhere vellum down onto something as well. So I've die cut those pieces with a bit of scrap paper underneath. I like to do that to give me a cleaner cut with the vellum, but it also just makes sure that I don't get cut marks from my cutting place onto the vellum as well. So I've removed the backings off of that whole reinforcer piece, and then I can adhere that down at the top of that tag. And that literally is going to give me a bit of reinforcing so that when I thread my twine through here, it's not going to rip that vellum. So I'm just placing that black twine through it, and then I can secure it there at the top. I am still being careful here because it is vellum, it could definitely still rip, but it is a lot more reinforced with that piece there. I'm not actually tying this in a bow today, I'm going to leave my strands long. So now I can bring in my flowers again, figure out exactly where I want them to be placed on the card, and then I can place my tag behind. So once I'm happy with the placement of that tag, and I think it looks quite nice there, I'm going to remove those flowers, and I'm going to hold that tag there in place because I don't want to accidentally move it and it be in the wrong place. So now I can take some glue tape, and I'm adding a little bit of that onto my card, and then I can stick the vellum down on top. This vellum is so lightweight that that little bit of adhesive is going to hold it down nicely. And I'm just making sure that where I add that adhesive, one of the flowers is going to overlap it. So again, you're not going to be able to see that adhesive. So I'm just kind of nestling those flowers together, and then once I'm happy with the placement of those, I can pick up them both with my tweezers. So that's just going to hold them both in place together. I can then add a little bit of glue between the two to hold them in place, and then I can add more liquid glue onto the back of both of these flowers. Being careful not to add too much adhesive onto the ones that are going to overlap the edge of the flower, because obviously I don't want to see that adhesive on the back of the card. So once I'm happy with the placement, I can press those down. And I do, before I adhere the flower down on the right hand side, I want to make sure that I kind of pop these threads underneath. I thought it would look quite nice if they were sort of nestled underneath the flowers rather than just kind of flopping around, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying my best here to pop those underneath the petals. And you can see that the flowers, like I say, do overlap on the left hand side. I just really like that look. So I did try and cut my card base down a little bit. It's still not enough so that it will fit into a standard sized envelope, unfortunately. If I'd planned a little bit more, I probably could have done that. But I do really like the look of things overhanging cards. So I'm willing to create a custom sized envelope and to be able to send this if I need to. So I've got my threads in place there behind the flower, and now I can add some instant dimension foam tape onto my sentiment. I've stamped that from the Craft Your Life project kit Magnificent Magnolias stamp set onto some Crafty Necessities jet black cardstock, and I have heat embossed that using pure white crisp embossing powder. I realised at this point that I wanted it to overlap the flower centre, and it's going to end up a little bit too bulky on that right hand side. So I'm just cutting away some of that foam tape, and then I can add a little bit of glue tape onto that side, and then I can place that down, and that's just going to lay down a little bit flatter. So just using my tweezers there to hover that in place, and once I'm happy with the placement, I can press that down. So to finish, I'm embellishing with some clear iridescent stellar sequins. I just thought it'd be quite nice just to add a few onto this card. Personally, I do already think that it's fairly busy for my personal taste, but I do just like to add a little bit of sparkle onto cards as well. So I just think 3 of those nestled around those flowers does look really pretty. So that is the card finished for today. I really like how that background kind of becomes part of the focal point. Links to the products that I used will be listed in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.